Now it is time for the Final Four and One. I told you we have a stacked weekend here. Saturday, noon on Big Ten Network. Wisconsin at Ohio State on David Lighty Court. Ohio State is favored by 4, according to Ken Palm. What is your pick, David Cobb?
Yeah, I've got Ohio State -4. Now, do you want me to give you any reasons why? Or
yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. I like the fact that Ohio State should be able to draw Wisconsin's 7-footers away from the rim a little bit and open up the floor here. Now, I mean, it's not like Ohio State has a bunch of really uber talented guards who can get into the paint, but I think it's going to make Wisconsin really uncomfortable when E.J. Liddell and Kyle Young start putting up threes against their 7-footers. And I think Liddell certainly can use his outside shooting ability to draw those 7-footers out and then drive around them and get to the hole.
I like it. Succinct, fast. We'll make this pick segment faster than normal here. I'm going to take Ohio State in this spot to cover this number. Wisconsin has been fantastic. Johnny Davis has to be on the short list. I'm talking National Player of the Year candidates through the first 4.5 weeks of the season. I'm talking top 3, top 4. He's been terrific. Wisconsin coming back down 22 at home against Indiana, matching a program record. It showed a ton there. It really did. But I like Ohio State in the spot, and I like that number. So give me the Buckeyes to cover. Ohio State, by the way, looking to go 3-2 against NCAA tournament level teams if it can get the win here. Saturday, man, there's a lot of good games. This is my favorite game of the weekend. Saturday, 5 Eastern on Fox. Arizona at Illinois on Luther Head Court. Arizona is a 2-point dog. That's right. Illinois is favored by 2 in this game. Who you got?
I'm going Arizona straight up. How about this, Matt? Both of Illinois' losses this year are to first-year head coaches, Marquette and Shaka Smart, and Cincinnati and Wes Miller. I think Tommy Lloyd makes it 0-3 against the first-year coaches because, I mean, let's be real. Nobody's playing better in the country right now than Arizona.
Arizona has the largest margin of victory on average of any team in the country. Over 32 points a game. They score more a game than anyone else, north of 90. They aren't allowing opponents to score 60 a game. I don't have the net rankings up in front of me right now. I believe Arizona is number 1 in the net now. After what
they have a case, Matt, to be number 1 in the AP poll if they win this game?
That's correct. So first I want to play this. This is Tommy Lloyd. This is what he said. I guess this got Illinois fans a little bit fired up. Because it was shared out of context. This is what Tommy Lloyd said. I love this drop here. This is what he said about going and getting a win on the road. Arizona coach Tommy Lloyd. This is a 22-second clip here.
I mean, there's nothing better except playing in McHale when it's full of going on the road and kicking someone's ass. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And you know, it's going to be a huge task. And we're not going in there cocky. We're not going in there arrogant. We're going in there knowing it's going to be a great challenge, and we're hopefully going to be up for it.
Love it. Love that. I love that spirit from Tommy Lloyd here. These programs have a history, obviously. The most famous one being in 2005, but they met previously in the tournament there, and they've met recently as well. This is the kind of game to me, Cobb, where these programs should just make a point to try and play each other every 3 to 5 years or whatever. Do a home and home, take a couple years off and do it again. They are congruent non-conference schools and brands. They're huge. Yeah. In my opinion, both top 20 jobs in the country. I love this. I also love the matchup here. Kofi Cockburn has been terrific, almost kind of quietly terrific to this point, but he is going to get an intriguing matchup in this game because Arizona's come on now. Christian Coloco, he's 7'1", 230, a different kind of big. This is a fascinating game.
Yeah, and the thing is, Arizona can throw a different, they can throw Tubelis at him. They can bring Omar Ballo in. They got 3 dudes that are, that can reasonably defend or at least attempt to defend Kofi Cockburn.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And then Benedict Mathurin shooting 60% as a wing from 2-point range this point this season, 34% from 3. Arizona's weakness, if you want to call it that right now, is that they're pedestrian from beyond the 3-point line. We'll see if they can overcome that. Defensively, they're very, very good. Here's the thing. They're great on defense, and they play fast. They love to play fast there. Illinois, not a plodding team. They're just more kind of an average tempo team there. We've seen what Alfonso Plummer's been able to do. He's been a big step-up guy. Illinois Twitter lost its damn mind when he had a huge game earlier this week, did Plummer, when Illinois beat Iowa. And I tweeted out that Alfonso Plummer has been what I thought Andre Curbelo would be. And by that, I meant he has been the game-changing player, alongside of Kofi Coburn. Illinois fans thought that I was saying that Alfonso Plummer is like the exact same kind of like point guard. I don't know. People take this stuff way too seriously. That wasn't the point. Dude is an automatic scorer. Hasn't missed a foul shot this season. He's 28 for 28, 58% from 2-point range, 43% from 3-point range. He has been huge because Curbelo hasn't been available due to issues with a concussion there. So, keep that in mind. Another factor with this. I do love this game. Did you make the pick? Who did you pick?
Yeah, I went Arizona. I got them, against the spread and straight up. I think my prediction for CBS for our post is going to be Arizona 88, Illinois 81.
Give me Illinois in this spot at home, but I'm not confident about it. I will take Illinois here. Arizona on the road, biggest challenge yet is a big one. All right, the next game is your pick. Do you want to read it, or you want me to set it up here?
No, yeah. I mean, I went Kentucky Notre Dame, which on the surface, given Notre Dame's struggles, doesn't look like it should be all that compelling of a matchup. But given the fact that it's at Notre Dame and that, Matt, this will be Kentucky's first game against a top 100 KenPom opponent since the season opening loss to Duke. Since that time, they've only played one team in the top 275 at KenPom, and that was Ohio. So I think this is a more challenging spot for Kentucky than you might think just by looking at it on the surface.
I'd had Oscar Tshiebwe was in my lead for the court report on Wednesday. He's averaging better than 15 points and 15 rebounds per game. I talked to Tshiebwe after they won over Southern. He maintains, he said in the preseason, he wants to average 20 rebounds a game. I think that's a bridge too far. Averaging 20 in the modern college landscape at a power conference program, that used to happen in the 50s and 60s and even into the early 70s. I don't know. Can he get to 17 or 18? He's like, I'm guaranteeing I can do it. Credit to him.
I read your court report. It was really good, and I respect his interest in that facet of the game, because if you're talking about skill sets that are going to make you marketable in the NBA, rebounding isn't exactly at the top of the list. And so for a guy to be that hungry to go and get boards, it does, I think, make a huge impact still on the college game. I think it's undervalued still in the NBA. So I think he's maybe in the eyes of a niche population adding value to what he does. I think most scouts would tell him focus that energy on expanding your shooting range. But it's cool to see a guy really embracing that element of the game.
I agree. Give me Kentucky here. At least Cal's playing a true road game. This one, I believe, makes up for. I talked to Bray about this over the summer. I think they got this game because they had to cancel or push back the Michigan deal across the pond. So I think this is what subbed in for it. Kentucky fans will know 100% sure. I'm glad that Kentucky's just playing on the road. Notre Dame's not as good as Kentucky probably wanted it to be, and in that way, it comes to be kind of almost tricky. This is, by the way, this game is on Luke Herringody court. Fourth game, Saturday, 10 Eastern on ESPN2. I'm telling you, we have a stacked weekend, folks. Houston at Alabama on Jamichael Green court. Alabama's favored by 1. Who you got?
Michael Green, great former Grizzly. So going Houston to win and cover. I got them winning this one by about 4. Here's the deal. We all know Houston's got one of the best defenses in the country. Alabama's lead guards have been a little bit turnover prone, and I think Houston's going to be able to keep them from getting in that spin cycle of driving and kicking and getting all the open looks that they would normally be accustomed to getting.
Bama was the 3rd-ranked team in defensive efficiency last season. Not quite that good so far this season. Houston, right now, number 2 in defensive efficiency. Could be the best defensive team Kelvin Sampson. Could be. Don't know. We'll have to see that he's ever had, which is really saying something because his teams obviously love to really grind you out. Alabama has a back-to-back AAC situation going on. They play Houston now. On Tuesday, they will play against Memphis there. So we'll see if they can go 2-0, 1-1 or 0-2 against the American. Houston does seem like a legitimate team again. Doesn't yet have a top 50 win. This is a big spot here on the road. I have to take Alabama. Their 4-guard attack is too good. I do think this will be a little bit of an ugly game. Again, we're looking at Saturday, 10 Eastern at night on ESPN2. Give me the Tide to cover. Last game, Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC. This is the most high-profile game. You've got Villanova at Baylor. Neither of these coaches schedule scared. Again, running theme in today's episode here. This will be on Davion Mitchell and Jared Butler court. Got to give both those dudes their due. Jared Butler was actually technically the Final Four mop. It should have been Davion Mitchell. Baylor won the tournament for many reasons, but Davion Mitchell at the tail end of it was the reason. Baylor on its home floor, undefeated, trying to play for the #1 ranking, and we'll get to that question you posed to me. It's favored by 4 points. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I know Gary has a lot of respect for Scott Drew and Amy Drew and Homer Drew and Bryce Drew and for all their children and pets and all that. So with Gary being out, I'm going to stand in here with more hair than him and say Baylor wins and covers the 4-point spread. My concern with this game from the Villanova side is they don't have an elite rim protector. And if you go look at the numbers, Baylor gets more of its points inside the arc than you might expect for a team that has as many quality shooters as they do. So I think they're going to be able to get into the paint and finish in the paint against Villanova.
Hold on. I got Bryce Drew on the line. Bryce, what are your thoughts on this game?
This is Bryce, and I don't care.
Okay, fair enough, man. Well, all right. Understandable. I'm going to take Baylor to win and to cover. Villanova, if it were to win this game, would have a case for #1, but I don't know about that. There's other results that are going to impact this. But give me Baylor here in this spot. Cobb, the point you just brought up is an excellent one. By the way, this is the third meeting between these schools, and they met already in this calendar year. Baylor won easily in the Sweet 16 back in March. Baylor also won when these teams played in November of 2019. They won by 9, which impacted what you brought up earlier, the rotating cast of #1 teams early in that season. That game also factored into that overall. Baylor has been quietly awesome. This will be its moment to kind of return. It's not like it's been completely off the radar, but let's be honest, Cobb. Has Baylor been getting the kind of recognition that a normal undefeated reigning national champion would get in this situation? Doesn't it feel like they haven't been kind of getting their press so far?
Yeah, they've flown under the radar. I mean, their biggest games were in that battle for Atlantis. It gets lost in the shuffle of Feast Week and, the weird times that those games start and stuff. But, I mean, they've been legit. Kendall Brown is, unbelievable as a freshman. He takes 5 shots a game, and he makes every single one of them. And then he makes a lot of impact plays defensively. Baylor's been really, really good, again, despite losing Mitchell, Teague, and Butler. I mean, it's just my one concern with Baylor and the Big 12 in general. I think the team that wins the Big 12, it'll go to the coach that controls their chaos guard the best. Think about Baylor, James Akinjo. Yes. He makes some spectacular plays, but he also turns the ball over 3+ times a game. Then you look at Kansas and Remy Martin. Yeah. Bill Self openly acknowledges that this is a different kind of player, And then I think you can even take that same comparison to Texas and Marcus Carr and somebody who's can be a little bit, I don't know, he's used to kind of running the show, at Minnesota. So those 3 guards and the way that their coaches utilize them and corral them, I guess, would be, I think, a huge deciding factor in the way the Big 12 shakes out.